Hello lovely year ones, it's Miss Hocking here and it's time for our maths lesson today. Now it's Friday the 8th of January 2021 and we are continuing with our addition subject. So we're looking at addition to 10 and today's lesson is all about counting on. So we've made it to Friday, everyone. Well done. Woohoo! It's Friday. It's been a rough week, but I made it. I hope you guys did too. You're doing amazingly at home and we're so impressed by all the work that's coming in. And thank you for all of the photos. They are really, really keeping Mrs. Sweeney and I going. So one more day, and then it's the weekend. You can chill a bit. So today we are learning to be able to add by counting on. So I've got a problem here. Now you can see here that there is a box and there are some buttons in the box and we need to find out how many buttons there are in total. Now this lovely lady here, she says there are 6 buttons in the box. Okay, so we know that there are 6 buttons in the box. I'm going to, well, that's not a very good 6. Let's try that again. There we go. There are 6 buttons in the box and then we've got 1, 2, 3 buttons here. Now we need to find out how many there are in total, but we can't see all of the buttons in the box, so we're going to need to use a new method, and that is called counting on. Now I wonder, is it possible to figure out how many buttons or counters there are in total? What I want you to do, without having a go at counting on, or without having a go at doing an addition sentence, I want you to tell your talk partner any ideas that you might have about how you could find out how many buttons there are. There is a number in here and there is a number here. What can we do to find out how many there is in total? Pause it here if you want to have a discussion. Okay, so we're going to do this together because my friend has said that if she puts 6 in her head and then she counts on, she can find the total number, and total means the overall amount altogether. So she says that. Do you think that that is possible? And what do you think that would sound like? I want you to tell your talk partner or your grown-up or whoever you're working with at home how you think that might be possible if she puts 6 in her head and then counts on. Do you think that she can find the right number? Have a go. Pause it here now. Whoopsie, sorry, Miss Hocking's not great at technology. Okay, so let's have a look at how we can do this then. We can solve this problem. Now we know that there are 6 buttons inside the box here. Now that is what's happened. We've taken the lid off and we can see that there are 6 buttons in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 altogether. Lovely. And they're in a bit of an array because there's a row of 3 here and a row of 3 there. And we know that we like to use arrays so it looks nice and neat and we can count our items properly. Now, what we've decided to do is use a number line. Now, you may have seen number lines in foundation, and we're going to use these a bit better today. We're going to use them in more detail than you ever have before, and hopefully you'll be really good at using number lines by the end of today. So we've got our 6 here, and we can see that there is this number 6 on our number line here. Now, what we have decided to do is add 1 to this 6 because there's 1, there's 1 more here, 2, and there's 1 more here, 3. So I am going to use my number line and I am going to do some jumps, and I'm going to do 3 jumps because I've got 1, 2, 3 buttons all together to add on to my original number of 6. So I've got 6, I can see them, but I don't need to see them because I know that there's already 6, so I just need to count on from 6. So let's do that together. Let me change my colour. So we've started on 6 and we've done some hops. Remember, we're doing 3 hops because there's 3 buttons. Ready? We're going to bunny hop. 1, 2, 3. Now what we have done, in fact, that is a bit of a rubbish bunny hop at the end there, so let's just sort that out, Miss Hocking. 3. Oh my goodness, there we go. So we've got 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. So our final number, the total number of buttons that we have got 9. Now if you have a little look at this number sentence over here, you can see that it says 6, which is our original number here, and it says add 3. Now the reason that I've got 3 is because I've taken these buttons here. I've taken one button, I've added another button, so I've gone 6, add 1, add 1, add 1, and I've done that 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now I know that by adding these one by one, I know that you can all get the right number because you're all amazing at adding one more and knowing what is one more and one less of a number. So I know then that you can all start at 6 and you can add 1 to get to 7, you can add 1 to get to 8, and then you can add another one to get to 9. Now if you forget how many jumps or how many counters you've added on, all you need to do is to count these mini bunny hops that we have done here. So we've done 1 bunny hop here, we've done 2 bunny hops here, and we've done 3 bunny hops here. So that is where I've got my addition number sentence from. I started with 6, I added on 3 by counting on, and then I know that my answer is going to be 9. There are 9 buttons in total. Now, using that information, I can fill in my 10 frame over here. Now, I started with 6 buttons. So I'm going to fill in 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, I think I've made a silly mistake. Tell your grown-up what you think I may have done. Quick, you can pause it if you need to. I'm going to quickly take these out. Oh my goodness, I've made a silly mistake. Now, if you said that I needed to put them all in the top row first to fill up our 5, you are absolutely right. So I put my 5 in there, and then the next one goes down here on the bottom. So I've got my 6 in. That's my 6 buttons that I began with, and then I've added on, I've counted 1 button, counted on another 2 buttons, and I've lastly added my 3rd button. 1, 2, 3. So if I was to write this as a number sentence, I would write, let's do it in the same colours. I started with 6, sorry, not as a number sentence, as a part whole. I started with 6, and then I added on how many? 1, 2, 3. 3 buttons, and my total number is what? Tell your grown up for me now. Well done, your total number is 9. Excellent. So let's move on. Oh, I've got a different problem here. This one is based around tractors. I've got this number of tractors in a field, and they're in a nice array for me, so I know that I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tractors in my field, and I've got another 3 tractors that I'm going to drive into my field and park up next to my others that are in there already. So what I need you to do on your number line at home is find the first number that you begin with. So the first number that I begin with is number 6. So on here, can you please find me where the number 6 is? You can point at it on your screen, or if you've got a number line at home, you can point at it on your number line. Well done. Number 6 is here. Now in the last slide, we did our jumps underneath our numbers. Now on this slide, we're going to do our jumps on top of our numbers, and it doesn't make a difference either way, okay? Now there is something missing from this number line. I will be very, very impressed if anybody can spot what is missing from my number line. It's not the number 11. My number line is only going to go up to number 10. I wonder what you can spot is missing from my number line somewhere. Tell your talk partner what you think is missing. And maybe you can let me know in the chat function. I'm not going to tell you what it is. So I found my number 6. And I know that I need to add on how many tractors? 1 tractor, 2 tractors, 3 tractors on. This is very similar to my last question. So I've got 1 tractor, 2 tractors, 3 tractors. Now, how many jumps have I done? How many times have I added on? I've added 1. I've added 2 lots of 1, and I've added 3 lots of 1, 3 jumps, and I have made 6 plus 3 equals 9. Please excuse my writing. I am writing very poorly on a laptop without a mouse, so please excuse that. Now, what I want you to do is to have a look at this 10 frame, and on your 10 frame at home, I want you to use your counters to try and show me this problem. You can pause it here and do that now. Okay, so, this is a different problem then. It says, what if there are 5 buttons in the box now and some are outside of the box? How many buttons are there altogether? How many have I got inside the box? I've got 5. Okay, so I've got 5 inside the box. I need to find my number 5. Here it is. I'm going to put a circle around it to remind me where I am starting. So I'm starting with number 5, and I need to add on 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons. So that means I'm going to do 4 big bunny jumps. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, I've made a mistake. What mistake have I made? Quick, tell your talk partner. What mistake have I made? You can pause it now. You're absolutely right. I did too many jumps because I only had 4 items to count on for, and I accidentally drew 5 jumps. So I end up on number 9. So I know from here, I can say that my number sentence would be 5, even though I can't even see inside that box. I know there's 5. 5, add, how many jumps have I got? Let's just check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 add 4 equals, what number have I ended up with? I've ended up with 9. So I know that 5 add 4 equals 9. Now, children, the reason that we use counting on is because it's so much quicker when you're doing your maths. Now, instead of having to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before we get to this point, all of these numbers here, instead we can just start at 5 and we can cut a corner. We can be really sneaky and quick and count only from 5 onwards to our number. So we can save time and be more efficient. That word that keeps coming up in year 1, we can be more efficient if we use a counting on method. Okay, now have a look here. This is a really tricky thing to get our heads around, and this is something that some of our learners may find a little bit confusing. So if your child does find this confusing, please don't worry. So we've got some eggs here. This lovely bird has laid some eggs. We've got 2 eggs over here. I hope you can see those okay on your screen. And then over here we've got 5 eggs. So absolutely right, this boy here has said that we need to start on number 2, and then he's done all of these bunny jumps. He's done 5 bunny jumps because there are 5 eggs, and he's ended up on number 7. But wait a moment. When we have both amounts, it is not the most efficient thing to do to start on the lowest number. So number 2 is much lower than number 5. So the most efficient thing that you can do is to start on the bigger number, and then that means that we have to do less jumps. So for instance, you could start on 5 and then you only have to do 1, 2 jumps. So what we've done, rather than starting with 2, counting on to add on 5, what we've actually done is we've swapped them around, and we started first of all with our 5, and then we've added on, we counted on to get our extra 2, which is shown here. 5 add 1 is 6, add 1 is 7. So we've counted on twice. 5, 6, 7. So we know that there are this many eggs in total. There are 7 in all. Oh, let's see what this cheeky chap's got underneath his speech bubble here. He has said, why do we count on from the greatest number? What I want you to do is tell your talk partner why you think we do that. Now, I have just said it, so if you're not quite sure, you can rewind the video and have another listen and have another go. If you do find it a bit tricky, that's okay. Don't worry too much about that at this stage. Pause the video now to have a go at that. Okay, so our worksheets today then. We are going to have a look at the button example that we all did together. There is an example here with some pyramids, and then I want you to have a go at looking at how many balls there are here. You're adding on this amount of balls, so you've added on 4. You've added on 1, so you need to get to 5, and you've added on another, you need to get to 6. Now here you are sort of making your own number line. You need to fill in the numbers and find out what number you end up on to put it as your total. How many are there all together once you have counted on? Now I know that 4 add 2, 1, add 1, so that's 2 altogether. 1 add 1 is 2. I know that 4 add 2 is 6. So there are 6 balls in all, or all together. I want you to have a go at looking at how many there are here. Write that number in this box here, and then you need to add on just 1 and find out what number is going to go in these boxes. The second question is quite similar. You need to treat it just like a number line. How many are there here? And then use it as if it's a number line to get all the way to the end. Now these don't have any numbers at all, so once again really be careful with what you are writing and make sure, apologies, and make sure that you are writing the right number here. So you are adding on, so we start with 5 here, add on 1, this number should say 6, this number should say 7, and so on. This one says 8, and write it as a number sentence. And that is what you are doing for your work today. There is also an extra challenge sheet if you would like to have a go at that, which also works with number lines. What I want you to do is use your worksheet and a number line to solve these problems and to investigate the maths problem further. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Have fun, squirrels and hedgehogs. Bye!